Hi, I'm Jennifer McPeak, and I have some explaining to do, don't I?
La la la, clicky keyboard noises, la la la, keyboard noises.
So I've done 2 videos so far, and I have an Instagram under the same handle, J McPeak Writes. But why do they exist? Why does my title card say Jennifer McPeak Writes and does other stuff too? There's a sizable part of me that wants to say this is a midlife crisis kind of thing, but the real answer is capitalism. Dun dun dun! No, it's not capitalism. Not really. In all seriousness, I've always loved writing. I used to go down to the cemetery down the road from where I lived and just sit out there and write, kind of my thing. I once had a dream that I remembered in its entirety when I woke up, and it seemed like such a good idea at the time that I locked myself in my room for 3 days, 3 entire days, just doing nothing but writing. I mean, granted, I spent a lot of time in my room in the first place, but this specific time, I locked myself in specifically to write. Now, while I don't remember the full details of that story and that notebook has long since perished, it's a memory that sticks with me years later. The fanfics I used to write on a website called Quizilla are all gone. That website's been defunct for years, but I still remember how free it felt to just create a story out of nothing. Over the years, I have finished manuscripts, entire novels. I've gotten them polished, and I've sent them off to potentially get published. I have tried to get agents in the past. I've gotten feedback, and it's all been good. I even got a full request from one of those agents. It didn't end up in a publishing contract, obviously, but it was positive. But for some reason, somewhere along the line, I took the "you're good, but we don't feel confident enough to represent you" as me not being good enough. It didn't matter that they told me I was going to be able to find somebody that would be able to fully commit to my work, but it just wasn't them. It didn't matter. I heard, "I don't want you." So I got sad and I put the writing away for a really long time. I just stopped. No more writing. There's no point in keeping going, even though it made me so happy. But I always had this feeling that I had made a bad call. I always felt not bored, just unfulfilled, if you will. I kept telling myself that it was going to be a waste of time to start writing again. I wasn't going to be able to write a story that anybody would want to read, even though I didn't mind whether I could make a career out of it or not, which is another reason why, looking back, it just seemed so weird that I kept listening to that voice in my head telling me it was a waste of time. Now, I will stop right here, right now, and say nobody I know was telling me that I sucked. My husband told me all the time whenever I mentioned that I might need to start writing again. He was the first one to pipe up and be like, "Do it, do it, do it, do it." He never once told me anything negative. The friends that I did talk to about writing, they asked periodically how it was going, even when I hadn't written in 2+ years. It's possible that part of why nobody said anything negative was because I didn't really talk about it that much, but nobody was telling me that I was bad. In fact, quite the opposite. Everybody that did read my stuff said they enjoyed it and they were looking forward to more. It was just me. My brain can be a 1980s bully when it really wants to be. And it, for years, was wearing that popped up striped polo and telling me no one loved me. It took a long time for me to get out of that headspace. And in that time, a lot of things changed. I got new jobs. I got a kid. I moved. I changed as a person. I grew as a person. But the desire to write followed me the whole time. And finally, I had to just tell myself, are you just afraid? Is it easier to just say no one's going to like it than to just put it out and see what people really think? And that's where YouTube comes in. See, in the years since I started writing, the world of publishing has completely changed. Back then, if you didn't have a literary agent repping your book and sending it out to a reputable publishing house, your book was dead. Self-publishing was not taken seriously. There was a lot of snubbing of noses at self-published books. because they didn't have that big name. They didn't have the marketing that these other books had. And there was this sense of, well, you kind of cheated your way into writing about it that I know a lot of people in the industry had at the time. That's pretty much gone now. Nowadays, 30 to 40% of all the ebooks sold on Amazon are self-published. That's huge. If it's done right, you can't tell the difference between a self-published novel and a professionally published novel. Publishing houses are, of course, still a thing, and so are literary agents, and they are perfectly valid. They are still working really hard to get books out there, and it's a lot easier to get your books into a brick and mortar store like Barnes and Noble if you have that kind of backing behind you. But you can still get it done. You can get a self-published book in a real store. That's a thing you can do now. If people can't get an agent to represent their books, there are still viable ways for them to get their books out into the world. But whether I choose to traditionally publish or to self-publish, it helps to have people in your corner that want to see you succeed. When you're ready to make that leap, so important to have people in your corner who are ready to catch you. While I'm doing my rewrites and getting my book ready to be sent out into the world, I'll be making these videos. With luck, people will see them. Not just my friends and family, whom I love very much. Thank you guys so much for supporting me so far. But other people will find these videos and hopefully they'll be interested enough to take a chance on me. All sorts of people who would never have known about me otherwise will find these posts. They'll see the things that I'm posting about my book and my other books, because I'm not just going to write one book and call it a day. But they'll see these and they'll be like, you know what? I want to try this person out. I want to try this book out. This seems like something that's right up my alley, and I would have never known about it had I not been scrolling on Instagram. Writing itself might be a solitary venture, but publishing takes a village, and I am hoping to find my village here. I also think it would be super fun to make friends out of this. I like friends. The internet is really good at bringing people together. Hi, I'm here. Long story short, I'm chasing a dream. Not only is this YouTube channel meant to get my stuff out, but it's also to hold me accountable so I don't lose track of myself again, so I don't lose sight of this dream again. Now I've shared something really deep about me that I haven't really talked about with anybody. And now it's your turn. I share, you share. Tell me about your dreams. Tell me about the things that you want to accomplish in life. What are you doing to make those dreams come true? Let me know down in the comments. I want to know. I want to root for you. You want to run a marathon. You want to make a quilt. You want to learn a different language. Tell me about it. What's something that you really want to do? Put it down in the comments, and you'll have one more person rooting for you to succeed. If you aren't comfortable sharing that online, then I'll ask you what I always ask you. What are you up to? What are you reading? What are you writing? As always, I'm Jennifer McPeak. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.
La la la, clicky keyboard noises. La la la, keyboard noises.